Well, it's RogueLiliana, and when I tell you they are a founding member of JDRF Game to Give, now Breakthrough T1D Play. I'm going to keep saying it that way so you get it down. They really are, because Rogue actually created our Discord. So long before we had me, I think we had Emily at the time. We didn't have Josh. Long before that, I remember Emily told me that Rogue was like, oh, if you guys are doing this, you guys should create a Discord. And Emily was like, what's a Discord?
That's right. She didn't know what it was or what it was, like what they do. I was like, okay, you need this.
So here we are. Almost 5 years later, that was November 2019. RogueLiliana is still here, now with their incredible new VTuber, looking amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
They're here for a very special T1D Tuesday, sponsored by our friends at Abbott. As you all know, Abbott is the maker of the Freestyle Libre 2 and 3 systems. And it just so happens that RogueLiliana is also a user of the Freestyle. So if the stars couldn't have aligned more, this is absolutely perfect. We are going to navigate this together. Rogue, welcome on in. Thank you so much for letting me get through that jumble.
You're fine. Thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be a part of this.
Oh, we're so happy. Seriously, we're so happy to have you here. I know I was gushing about you before we went live, but it really means a lot to us that you're such a big part of what we do here. Why don't you introduce yourself to chat? Let us know a little bit more about you.
I'm RogueLiliana, known as Rogue online. And I have been living with type 1 diabetes for 25 years. So wow. Just a small amount of time.
Just a little bit.
I'm a VTuber. I stream online every week. I'm full time at it, and actually I feel more determined to stream more and spread awareness for type 1 diabetes as much as I can. But yeah, 25 years is a long time, and I've seen many different things happen throughout the years, and changes and technologies come into play. So I was the type of kid that couldn't manage the diabetes very well and struggled with blood sugar checks and all that kind of stuff. So I've gone through a bit of a love-hate relationship with the condition, and these days I pride myself on turning that around and being someone who went from living in blood sugar hell, i.e. up in the highs all the time for many years, to well controlled. And I 100%, this is not #I'm not sponsored. The stream is sponsored, but I'm not. That is literally, it started, my life changed after I got Libra. I say that wholeheartedly, because I couldn't be consistent with my blood sugar checks, and with the Libra, it turned my life around. And I always quote that as being the thing that saved me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that.
Chat, I swear I did not plan this.
Yep.
That is so great to hear. And I think it really speaks to about finding what will work best for you, right?
Yeah.
The Freestyle Libre obviously is a really powerful tool to help you in managing your type 1. And it's so nice that it was something that worked for you. So thank you for sharing that. I had no idea. Yeah. You had the same problem back then with me? Yeah. That seems to be pretty common in managing it for many people. Well, thank you for sharing that. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that just recently you joined us for Creators for Cures, our fundraising event. Yes. And because you've raised so much, you had to get rid of your entire supermarket simulator world.
Don't tell everyone that.
And I was so devastated for you, because how many hours had you logged in that again?
I want
it was 90 or something.
Yeah, it was 96 hours.
Oh my God. When I was watching that, I was like, no.
I know. And do you know what the funny thing was? I tried to restart, and I got to level 11 or something really quite early on. And I went, what am I doing with myself? I'm not doing another 100 hours.
And let me offer it up as a donation incentive. Oh my God, that is so long, but it really just speaks to your dedication. Like last year too, you won the not only the We Couldn't Have Done It Without You award for being a founding member during our Blue Heart Awards, but you also had the most completed campaigns because you did all 4 of our major events last year. So chat, when I tell you RogueLiliana is dedicated, they are dedicated. And that actually brings me to one of kind of my first questions for you is obviously you talked about being a type 1 for 25 years now.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the most difficult thing that you've had to deal with having type 1?
I've been dealing with like a form of neuropathy and retinopathy. So that's been quite traumatizing, like having, because like, I don't know if I've told you the story, but like 2 weeks after I got married and came home for my honeymoon, one of the blood vessels in my eyes burst and they thought I was going to go blind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and then it was like the pain that I had in my joints and stuff like peaked at that point as well. So I was having like this major life event happen and I had to stop my career at the same time because of it. So I ended up with like lots of laser injections, both eyes, general surgery in both eyes to like help it. And now I've got like slight color blindness and stuff, but they're good, they're stable, thank God. But that was
scary.
That was like a huge thing. And seriously, it's because of mismanagement from years before. And that's the thing that always gets me, trips me up, is I went through a rebellious stage in my teenage years that a lot of other teenagers and kids or young adults would generally have. You know, they would maybe not necessarily take care of themselves and they'd be rebelling against their parents and all that stuff. And then you start to you get to an age of drinking alcohol and that takes a part of things as well. So and when I made the decision, I want to say like 10 years ago or so, more than that now, 10 years ago, to change that, I went through a huge change and it was great. And now things are so much better. But then you start to see the effect because your body's catching up.
Sure.
And it goes, hey, you're looking after yourself. Okay, see all this stuff in the background? We're going to hit you with it now. And I just didn't know how to deal with that because I thought I'm being punished for how I treated myself and not loving myself enough to do the right thing when I was a kid and didn't know any better. So I think that's probably been like the hardest part overall. I mean, that encompasses managing your diabetes and mental health and like just normal teenage rebellion. One of the things I quite like talking about is like, how do we get proper support for kids and adults and going through these major life changes? You know, it's like going to college, or maybe it's like you first go to high school. And what about when you make new friends, or your first like sexual experience with a partner? Like all these things have huge like implications for your diabetes and people don't talk about it enough. I feel it's something that I try and do my best to like highlight as best I can.
Wow. That's so powerful, Rogue. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know all of that. I think what you said though about how you're dealing with the effects after kind of decisions you made or didn't make as a kid, that really speaks to how, you know, type 1 diabetes is really unforgiving. And so many things as a kid, like mistakes you make as a kid, you're able to rebound from. But you're not even sure what all of the long-term effects are going to be for you yet. And like that uncertainty alone from things you did as a kid that you wouldn't have thought twice about. It's just, I don't know how I would be able to manage something like that. So for the fact that you remain positive and like are really like managing everything in spite of it, man, I don't even think you could get me out of bed.
I think for a long time I just punished myself for it, but it's important not to just support the person with the disease and the condition. It's important to support the people around them as well, because those are like they'll make a huge difference. Like for example, if I had a relationship with my mom that wasn't like super argumentative and stuff, and like she would just shout at me if I didn't do something right, or we'd come out of the hospital and she would do it with love, right? Because she knew she wanted me to do well. I never expected it to not be. But she didn't handle it well, therefore we couldn't like support each other. So it can make a difference with your overall management because you're like, oh, I'm not being listened to, nobody understands me.
Right.
And that's like always happening when you're a teenager, but like, can you imagine if you're trying to deal with a condition,
No.
you know? So it can be difficult, but people need to also support the folk around them as well. I think it's
Right.
important it's got to be across the board. It can't just be, it's why I love when we started talking about doing the game to give stuff in the beginning. It was all about not just the people living with the condition, but it was the families, the parents, people that worked in the organization. You know, it was all these different types of people across the board. And I just thought, that's freaking amazing. That is something I wanted when I was growing up. I'm so down for this.
Yeah.
Let me be a part of it in any way. Just I will do anything.
Oh, I love that. So well said. Yeah, agreed, Larsenio. Yeah, caregivers are so important to the
Yeah.
process. I think too, it's like as a caregiver, how, especially as a parent to a kid, how do you get through to your kid to understand the
Yeah.
gravity of a situation like that when like they can bear, they're just thinking about what's going to be happening in school the next day or, you know, things that
Exactly.
are in their immediate orbit. So I, so well said, RogueLiliana, so well said. I think it just, again, it speaks to how difficult minute by minute, second by second it is living with type 1 on every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And I think it's too like what you said about using the Freestyle Libre, like that really hit home for me because that is something that, you know, the technology wasn't necessarily there 20 years
No.
ago. Like, so
Mm-mm.
maybe you can you walk us through what it was like managing it earlier on, you know, 25 years ago versus
Sure.
now?
Yeah. So this was before all the different technology or different processes that people or methodologies people had to managing like carbohydrates and stuff. So basically it was a very simple method. It was you count your carbohydrates and they'd have to be exactly the same amount of carbohydrates at the exact same time every single day. So your meals, your snacks, your dinner, all that stuff, they were all exactly the same. You couldn't deviate
Right.
from it at all, and you'd have to have things at the same time. Blood sugar wise, you would have to uh, take a needle, like a finger pricker, and you draw blood from the finger. And the problem with that is if you maybe do it and you've used that finger in the past and it's not able to get the blood out, then you've got to do it again on a fresh finger. But you've only got 10 fingers, so you kind of run out of fingers pretty fast.
Which one's fresh now after I did like 6 different ones? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
But it's difficult because if you like, for me personally, I struggled with like routine and being able to not understand. I understood, but I couldn't like maintain that routine of having to do it before every meal, before I went to bed, before I went to gym and in class. Like it wasn't just a case of, all right, you're using your phone and swiping your Libra or just looking at your Omnipod or anything like that. It's literally I had to I'd get up in the morning, I would take a finger prick, I would go to school and it would be class time. I'd have to do a finger prick if we were doing any sort of activity. Then you'd have lunch or snack time and you'd have to have that. You'd have to like do the finger thing. I want to say because it was like I'd have to do it at least 5 times during school. I would
Wow.
say.
That's
Yeah,
a
and then
lot of time like where you're being like singled out for something you have to do.
yeah.
When like a lot of the
And
times you want to blend in as a kid.
oh, totally. And because of that, you were never allowed to do it in class. You were told like you had to go do it in a little medical room. So I was always like had to leave class to go do that or take insulin or
Just
and stuff
disrupting
like that.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that was back when there was a lot more injections as well, like for
Right.
insulin and whatnot. So it was a lot. And you can imagine wanting to prick your finger 5+ times a day. It's probably not what you want, especially because
No.
your finger starts to get like hard skin and thick, and because it's basically scarring. So you're kind of struggling to find the skin that you're supposed to, like the zones to do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so
There's only so
it's
much
rough.
skin. Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Thankfully, my
wow.
fingers are nice and soft now.
Yeah. They recovered.
They did, yeah.
So when did you start getting devices? Like how can you walk us through that? Like how did you
Mm-hmm.
figure out what was going to work for you?
So I had been on a different methodology, which was called Daphne, which is dose adjustment for normal eating. And at the time, that allowed for me to eat more freely, as in I didn't have to stick to eating at the same time and the same amounts all the time. So with that, I found that someone else had access to something called the Freestyle Libra, and I didn't know what that was. So they were explaining it to me. And I did some research, and there was other things that were like cheaper knockoff versions of it, but they were rubbish. So
Right.
and totally not worth the money. Um, so eventually I spoke to my doctor about it and asked, look, I would love to be able to get on this. I think I'm a good candidate for it because I do struggle with managing my blood sugars and stuff, and I want to get in this in line. And I was at risk. So they were like, yeah, okay, we'll add you to the list and I'll let you know. And I was like, no, can I not have it like now? Can
No,
I have this
I would like this now.
now?
Yeah.
Yes, please. But eventually my husband and I, we discussed it, and we ended up, because we knew we were on the list, just waiting to get it from the National Health Service here in the UK.
Right.
We just ordered it from the website and just thought we're just going to pay for it ourselves. It's worth it. It was £50 a sensor.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
It's
not
expensive.
cheap. Yeah,
No.
£100 a month, and that's if you. What if you don't put it on right? What
Right.
if you get too hot and like the thing
You
that
need a
sticks
backup. Yeah,
up? Yeah,
backups.
yeah. I've had many backups save me many
Oh my
times.
gosh.
Um, but it's yeah, that's the process we went through until we were ready to get it on our National Health Service and switched over. And honestly, lifesaver. I don't know if I would be here today without it.
Oh, I that makes me happy just like to hearing your journey, just how much has changed in such a short period of time. It
Mhm.
also makes me sad about how you had to advocate to get it. Obviously, I want to reiterate, Breakthrough T1D, formerly JDRF, we are very much committed to access. That's a huge part of what we're trying to do to make things more accessible for people, not only just so that it's something mentioned to you,
Mhm.
but that it's affordable because it's insane to be able to have to pay so much to manage something that you have no control over.
Yeah.
60 in France? Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Yeah, this stuff's
It's
expensive.
expensive. Yeah. So for those who maybe don't know, what does the Freestyle Libre do for you?
So basically, it's a little circular device that you put onto your arm, and you scan it with your phone or your blood sugar meter, depending on what you use. And I've used my phone for I don't know, for a long time now. Um, and essentially, what it does, as it currently stands with the Freestyle Libre 2, is that it is able to read your blood sugar level from, like, I think it's like under the subcutaneous tissue or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes about 5 minutes. It's a 5 minute delay, I believe, um, for the Libra 2. And it basically tells you your blood sugars and your trends, and whether you can set alarms so that if you got high or low blood sugars, it will send you a like nice big alarm noise to your phone, um, which is just amazing. And I also have, my husband has the app to go with it, the companion app. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's the Libra Link, and he's able to check my blood sugars
That's
when
so nice.
I'm asleep or when he's at work. So it's freaking awesome. It's honestly, it's come so far, even from the very original version.
Right. Because
Because
you've had it for a while since the first
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah. So it used to be that it was 15 minutes delay. And there wasn't like a
Interesting.
lot of support for like other apps and stuff like that, but there is now. Um, and you couldn't drive with it, so
You
you
couldn't
had to.
drive.
No. So in the UK, you had to still prick your finger to check your blood sugars. Now,
Oh, wow.
now you can.
Okay.
Thankfully, they've changed
Wow.
that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. The Freestyle Libra 2 really did change the whole concept with the driving services here. So
Mm.
you're able to use that to check your blood sugars because it's not as long as 15 minutes anymore. Um, the 5 minute delay is sufficient enough. So
Interesting. I had no idea. I
yeah,
wonder, I don't know if there was anything like that in the US. I mean, I just have no idea. Again, for those of you new in chat, I do not have T1D. So I like doing T1D Tuesday because I also learn a lot, and hopefully you do too. Wow, that is nuts. So how long have you had the Libre then?
I think 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge chunk of your time being a type 1. And that speaks to how much the technology works for you. I think on the flip side, I hear people that are like, you know what? I'm just not really, I don't like it being on my body. You know, I don't enjoy those pieces of it. So again, it's like it's about being in a place now as a type 1 diabetic where you have choices and options that help you kind of live a better life with type 1 until we find cures, which really is just kind of our mission overall here at Breakthrough T1D. One question I like to ask a good majority of people, just because, you know, obviously you're dedicating some of your free time as well as your work, and you're also just living with type 1, right? It's like type 1, not only is it already just something you manage with second by second, but on top of that, you're going above and beyond by participating in fundraising and being reminded of it constantly. Like, do you ever get like burnout just from being always involved and reminded about this thing that you're dealing with? Or does it energize you or something else?
I have to say, I've not had many instances of burnout. I think I did a little last year where I had been fundraising nonstop, like with every campaign.
Yeah.
And I had to take a break. I was like, I'm running out of ideas. I don't want to burden my community.
Of course. Donor fatigue is real. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I picked the worst time because it was like National Diabetes Day was coming up. I was like, no, I feel so bad. But it was important for myself to like just have that time to recharge. So I think in the sense of burnout, of just hearing about it and engaging with it, I don't feel that way. I'm always happy to like answer people's questions or talk about it, because like diabetes comes up in my stream every single day. So yeah, because like if I have to change insulin or sensor, if I need a snack or I have a hypo, like we're just used to it. Like we just talk about it and just do it. So
just take a break, do it. Yeah. I guess for you, you might not necessarily need to take a break because you're having your VTuber, but sometimes though, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I think obviously there are varying levels of comfortability in continuing to talk about it and awareness, but I think it's obviously such a big part of making a difference and helping to, you know, fund more research and cures as awareness. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a level of like feeling pressure to do that to help you.
Yeah.
But also just like, you're also just talking about something that just is your day-to-day life. So it might not really feel like an extra burden in that way.
Yeah, totally. And I think that I sometimes think that when I do the charity fundraiser events, I worry that I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just yapping about the same old thing and people won't care. But I'm always proven wrong. Yeah. Always. So it's, my heart is always full after a fundraising event. And I've had other people in my own community say, hey, I was inspired to do this because I wanted to help. I'm like, oh my God.
That's the best. Yeah. I love that.
I decided when I started to stream that I wanted to be very upfront with it. So I don't hide any of the issues or problems I have or anything that I need to do to manage it. So everyone has convinced me over many years now, because it's been 6.5 years I've been streaming. So they've convinced me fairly quick to look after myself and not worry about it if I need to take a break or whatever. So yeah, I'm really proud of them, because they are, even though I'm the streamer and I'm the one that they come to, like I'm proud of them. Like they're the ones that make me keep going, because they're passionate. Even if they can't donate, they're there to help, like retweet and talk about it, or you know, just help being there and supporting me just by chatting and stuff like that. It's all important. It's all major parts of it. It's not always, you can't always expect people to donate all the time, which is why I love to recognize them as a whole, because they're fantastic.
They really are. Wow, Rogue, you've made such an amazing impact. That's got to feel so fulfilling too. You know, not only is this like something, because you stream full time, right?
Yeah.
So to have this piece of kind of your I don't want to say like business, but I mean, it is your job, but like to
Yeah,
have this
yeah.
piece be such a like impactful part has got to bring you a lot of pride.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does. I think that sometimes maybe I don't give myself credit. So,
Yeah, give your credit. I'm trying to like shove the credit and the compliments down Rogue's mouth. Help
uh,
chat. You're incredible. It's inspiring, truly.
thank you.
I have to do a lot of stand up and move my leg breaks while streaming due to neuropathy.
Yep.
Do you have to take breaks like that too, Rogue? Rogue. Oh, that's okay. Rogue actually was speaking about her neuropathy a little bit earlier, so I think she'd be happy to answer that again. Just
Yeah.
what she has to do to kind of help that during streaming.
Totally. I do lots of up and down, standing around and stretching and stuff like that. I have a command, like one of the channel point commands is time to stretch. So people will go in and they'll put that through and okay, yeah, I'm stretching right now. Even if I'm not standing, I'm just stretching and making sure I'm giving myself the chance to get the blood flowing and stuff like that. Or folk will use the command to go beep boop, have you done your blood sugar check? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm doing it right now. But yeah, I do have to get to the stretching part with the neuropathy is important just because I can't deal with there's stiffness and the pain that comes with it. So I'm like, okay, yep, let's get sometimes I'll stand up and I'll do like swinging around and kidding on, I'm a gymnastics expert. No, I'm joking. But no, it's important. So yeah, crabs. I'm totally there with you. It's important for sure, and having like being able to help your community help you almost. It's like because it's all interactive at the end of the day. So for me, if I can put things in the way to help me, but also have them included, like it's such a nice little system to have going on. And it just makes me love them even more because they remind me to look after myself.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Even thinking about, I work from home, I don't really have anyone around me. I don't really necessarily have that of like somebody being like, hey, go and stretch. Hey, go and do this. So that is a really nice layer to it of how like kind of streaming and doing this is kind of helping to support you as a T1D, which is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, look at these full circle moments. So, you're talking about breaks and stuff that you take during stream and obviously beyond. Like, what's your like go-to snack when you're having a low?
When I have a low, I have these little like small packets of jelly beans, and they have, I think, just the perfect amount for low blood sugars. So I've tried everything. I've tried all the drinks. I've tried everything that you can possibly think of, but these worked out perfect just because I didn't overcorrect or undercorrect. So it's like, I think it's like it's exactly 15 beans or something in it. It's something like that. So it gives me the 15 carbs of sugar that I need to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Amazing. You're the first person to say jelly beans to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
I know, me too. Because I didn't even, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, jelly beans. That would make sense.
They're so yummy too.
Is there anyone else close to you that has type 1? Like, did it run in your family at all, or was it completely new?
No, it was brand new for our family.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, you were speaking obviously a little bit earlier about, your mom trying to like help you deal with all of this and everything. So I can only imagine the additional pressure of just not even knowing what to expect or do.
And it happened at the worst time in her life too, because not only did I get the diagnosis, but 2 weeks before that, her mum, she fell when she was on a night out celebration for New Year's, and she broke both wrists. And she's still, she's like in her 85 or something now. So yeah, so she was no spring chicken, but so they had to, my mum and her siblings had to look after her, and then suddenly I was in the hospital. So it happened just at the worst time.
Right, just one after another. Yeah, you can't plan for that.
No.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's rough. Had your you mentioned your husband earlier. Had he ever had experience with anybody with T1D before you, or were you the first person?
No, it's funny because we laugh about this now, but when we first were dating, he was like, I'm not sure I can stick it with you because that's a huge thing to have in a relationship. I'm like, Yeah, it kind of is. And I was like, it'll be fine, don't worry. And then obviously I made the decision to totally like make my breakthrough to fix things. And now he's the one saying, hey, I'm going to look after you no matter what. And I'm like, I
Oh,
love you.
that's so sweet. That is,
Yeah.
that's like, I love what you said earlier about, if you're going to have like your first, like a partner and like,
Yeah.
intimate experience. And I think that really brings it up too, like as you talked about with caregivers, like needing support as well, because not
Yeah.
only are they, of course, they want to love and care for you, but that's a huge thing to have to help manage an autoimmune disease like that. So
Yeah.
that really speaks to it too. I mean, caregivers are a special type of person. They don't have to do any. This isn't affecting them, their body. They don't
No,
have to do it,
no.
but they choose to do
And
it.
totally. I have to give him special credit though, because like when we came back from the honeymoon and the eyes thing happened, um, he had literally just been married to me for 2 weeks, and he had to do everything, and he was the sole breadwinner. Like I couldn't work anymore for a long time, and I haven't
Oh,
been back to a normal job, funnily enough. I say for normal, quote unquote normal.
I understand.
um,
Yeah.
so he's seen me at my worst, like with a lot of things with diabetes. So he's gone through everything, and he is
Oh.
100% a massive, massive reason why I'm able to do so well. So
Oh,
he's a
Pyro, we're sending you hugs. You're taking
yeah.
good care of our Rogue. We love Rogue. Thank you, Pyro. So 25 years is a long time. I'm sure you've seen a lot out there in terms of information, organizations, etc. What are
Mhm.
your go-to like influencers or I mean, I know Breakthrough T1D is a big part of your life, but like what are some other people that maybe follow or look up to, aspire to that have T1D and why?
I'm really inspired just by the people around me. Like the community server in Discord is a place where there's so many folk that just want to do better or do more to help with awareness. And it just every time I take any time to like actually sit down and read people's comments, which I should do more, but I just always feel very like full with like happiness because it makes me believe that there are good people in this world again. And that's something that I struggled with for a long time was okay, the world is full of bad people and I hate everyone.
Yeah.
But then I'm reminded that, there's some real awesome people out there that just want to make others have an easier life or a better life for the future generations. And I feel like when I do stuff for diabetes, I personally know that I might not see the fruits of my labor now, but at least in the future, I will know that there'll be kids out there or adults that get diagnosed and they'll be like, yep, I've got my pump, I've got my Libra or my continual glucose monitoring, all that stuff. And they've just had it set up much better for them to start with. Like they'll have the information and the support. Whereas I think 25 years ago, it was a very different story. And they just, 25 years ago, they kind of scared you. They'd scaremonger you a little bit, but not give you the information to help
Yeah.
you. But
Oh my
now
gosh.
it's a lot better. So
Oh,
just,
so well said. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious, really being committed to making lives better for everybody at whatever stage. Because you know what it was like to be young and having type 1. Like that
yeah.
is a scary time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. Rogue. God. Am I tearing up, Jen?
uh,
Pull it together.
come on, Monique, you got
Ah,
this.
oh my God. So I like to ask this question to every single guest of mine. You probably already know what it is. But if there is one thing you could say to your younger self, having just been diagnosed with T1D, with everything you know now, what would you say?
That it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, and um, do what you can to look after yourself because you are the only person that you need to care about ultimately. Because you, it, if someone had said that to me when I was diagnosed, or even when I was going through my teen years and stuff, I don't know how I would have reacted, but now if I tell my younger self that as who I am now, I know that 10-year-old, 15-year-old Rogue is listening and is and happy and appreciates it. So I can really I just think it's important to say, look, it's gotta be okay. You can do this. You've got it. You just need to take your time and take each day as it comes. I think that's important.
I love that. I love that. So powerful. You know, you talked about caregivers being such an important piece of your puzzle and obviously many others.
Yeah.
And those, getting the support for those around you.
Mhm.
Is there other things that you think are kind of top priority to supporting people with T1D or to make people's lives better with T1D? You know, obviously you do fundraising, you raise awareness, you do all those pieces, but maybe
Mhm.
if it was somebody completely new to having type 1 and wanting to get involved, what would you say?
I think that it would be cool to like have engagement with other folk with the condition, especially like if you are newly diagnosed today, maybe you pair up and meet someone who's had it for a year or 5 years, and you go through like asking them questions and they can tell you their little tips and stuff that they've learned and how to manage it. And then once you go through those transitions of life, like if you're, especially if you're a young person, there's going to be lots of things that will happen. You know, you're go for me, it was going from being a kid in primary school to high school and all the drama that comes with high
Oh my
school.
gosh, yeah.
And then you're an adult. Like I moved out when I was 16. So I was out in my own place when I was 18. So uh that's a big thing as well. So people don't tell you what the things you need to kind of think about at that point to look after yourself. And I think that having some sort of network where there's like there's active participation with each other to like learn from those who have gone through it already, that would be freaking cool. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I genuinely didn't. The only other person I knew growing up that was a diabetic before I went to high school was my grandmother's friend.
Oh, yeah, like super distant.
Yeah, and she would sit me down and she'd be like, you know, you're gonna have to do better and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, 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 okay, no,
Who are
thank
you?
you. I'm listening to you totally. And then she died and I was like, God, oh my God, what do I like? It hit me and I was
Yeah.
like, that's huge. But
Wow.
even at that point, I wasn't I knew everything I needed to know to do it, the work, but I didn't implement it because well, there's many reasons, but like it was a difficult time.
Right.
Um and I kind of wish that I had someone more my own age that I'd be able to sit with and go, hey, like, okay, so how do you deal with this? Like, do you get bullied for it? Like, do people laugh at you for like having to inject at school? And or you know, when I turned 18, like, okay, what's it like when you go out to a nightclub or you're like stuff like that, or you're meeting friends out for dinner? Like people talk about, oh yeah, you can do this when you go out for dinner. I'm like, no, no, but specifically if you're going out bowling and gonna get pizza, how do you deal
Right.
with that?
All of those elements to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody that is in the same place in life as you.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's important. And that's never, I've never known that to be a thing. I don't know if
Right.
that is a thing, but
Well,
it would have been amazing if it was.
you made one, by the way. You made the Discord. So you made your own community that could support you, which is awesome to think about.
I'd like to think that I have attracted people around me that are like-minded and just want to
Yeah.
like help others, you know?
So, what do you have going on right now in your life that excites you? Like, what are you looking forward to?
Good question. I haven't even thought about it.
You've
I'm
had a
working
lot
on
going
some.
on.
Yeah, we just had my birthday stream after with the new model
Happy
debut that
belated
happened.
birthday
Thank you.
for everyone in
It
chat.
just happened.
Yeah.
It just happened right after the event of the charity fundraising as well, so that was kind of crazy. And I'm working on some like singing projects and whatnot now. So
Ooh.
yeah,
That's
so
exciting. That's
I
exciting though. The music. I
yeah
can't wait to hear. I
yeah.
don't think I've ever heard you sing.
Probably not. I'm not terrible, but I don't know if I give myself enough credit, but I'm not the best singer, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I've got some song covers out already on my YouTube with like some friends and whatnot. So
Nice.
I'm working on my fifth song cover,
Wow.
which is going to be just me and one other person, which is cool. Which is I think the smallest cover I've done because I've not done one on my own yet. I have
Sure.
plans for that, but that'll be TBC.
That is so
So yeah.
exciting. Yeah. Well, Rogue, I can't believe we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been such a pleasure to have you here. It went by so fast.
It did. I'm grateful to be here, and thank you for asking me to come on.
Rogue has been here literally since the very beginning, and I don't use literally a lot. They created our Discord, have been such an important piece of this community, helping it to become what it is today, and we really couldn't do it without you.